Hey, it's Lon Welsh at Your Castle Real Estate, and I've got the July trends for the real estate market here in the Denver metropolitan area, and I wanted to share some of the highlights with you. The big news here is that inventory finally is increasing. The number of homes and condos available for sale is up 82% at the end of July of this year versus the end of July of last year. So incredible increase. So if you have been a frustrated buyer who's been struggling with like, gosh, there's nothing out there that meets my criteria, or when I find a home or condo that meets my criteria, it's gone in 15 minutes. I think if you look now, you're going to find a really radically different market environment with more to choose from. It's not nearly as competitive as it was. The number of units that got closed was off 32% from this time last year. We attribute that to the fact that the mortgage rates went up so much, so fast, it spooked a lot of buyers out of the market. In my earlier video, I talked a little bit about how mortgage rates have declined from 5.9 to 4.99 just in the last couple of weeks. So some of that affordability gap has been closed. So we think that the number of units sold is going to be down from last year, probably in the latter half of this year, but not as dramatically as we saw in July. That was quite a difference. Prices are finally starting to get under control. So the average home price in July was off 3% from June. It was still up 11%, however, from July of last year, and that's actually the metric that counts to us. Condos were about the same as homes in this particular case. The important thing here is that the complete unrelenting increase in prices that we've seen over the last couple of years is finally starting to slow down. So for buyers who are kind of strapped for affordability, this should start to work in your favor at least a little bit. Days on market. No particular surprise with the inventory being up by 82%. It now takes about 3 days longer to sell a house than it did this time last year. Still, they're selling pretty quick though. Showings we talked about in an earlier video. They've declined a lot from their peak earlier this year. They're on track now for the historical norm from about 2019, which is a very healthy year. Discounts and premiums. We are still seeing that the average home sells at just less than 1% premium to their final asking price. There's a lot of divergence on that. Some homes and condos are being priced accurately and they're selling at a 2 or 3% premium. Some are being mispriced. They linger for a couple of weeks. There needs to be a price cut and then they sell at a 4% reduction. It's starting to look a little bit more like a normal market. Overall, most people are paying about the asking price. The 6 or 7% premiums that we saw at the height of the frenzy, that seems to be all over now. Finally, what's going to happen next? We can take a look at the number of pending under contracts at the end of July as a really good gauge of what's going to happen in August for the number of homes that we're going to sell. And it was off 11% from last year. So not nearly as dramatic as that 30% decline that we saw before. So things are looking pretty good. It looks like a more stable market. Should be easier for everybody to get a deal done and a lot less frustration.